Okay, let's get you the big story right at the very top. The death toll has now crossed 100 and counting in the Wayanad landslides in Kerala. At least 90 people are still feared trapped. Search and rescue operations are on a war footing. Army, IF, NDRF have all been pressed into action. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has held a high-level meeting. He's also been in touch with the centre. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has promised all support to the Pinarayi Vijayan government there in Kerala. So the big story is coming there from Wayanad. Joining me now from the location is our correspondent Sagai Raj. Sagai, appreciate you joining us. It must be, it's still raining, we are told. Give us the latest update that you have on the rescue operations.
It is quite unfortunate and depressing to see these kind of pictures where the rescue operation is happening at Chularmala, which is close to Meppadi in Wayanad. And close to 800 people is already been rescued by the rescue personnel. We are joined with Rajesh, is a regional fire officer for Kerala. Thank you so much for talking to India Today, sir. Sir, how many people you have rescued so far, and what are the challenges that you are facing?
Actually, first of all, we have rescued more than 1,000 people, and the challenge was, first of all, we were not there was a bridge over here, and that Mundakai, where this originated, that place was isolated from Churalmala. There was a bridge over there, so we were not able to go there. First of all. So we were searching this side of the river. Meanwhile, we constructed 2 zip line and crossed the river and transported people through that zip line. But it was very slow. After that, we constructed a temporary bridge with our extension ladder, and through that ladder, we rescued and evacuated more than 800 persons.
You can see there, this is a zipper line here, Rajdeep. These are 2 zipper line which was being used to shift people. Whoever are alive, they were also shifted, and the mortal remains were shifted using that particular stretcher through these zipper lines. Mundakai is a town which is on the other side of the river. It is on uphill, and there are more than 3,000 voters. And as per Rishi, the fire officer of the regional part of Kerala, has said they have saved around thousands of them. There are many people, there are many mortal remains which might be under the debris. The rescue operation is still on. So far, they have shifted everybody from Chularmala and Mundakai, and only the mortal remains which has been stuck inside the debris, they are trying to clear that. And remember, the entire Wayanadu has come together to help people in this particular rescue operation. When we were heading to Chularmala from Wayanad, they stopped every single vehicle. They allowed only ambulance to pass through. They have not allowed any other vehicle apart from ambulance. They want to ensure that the ambulance reach, just like Rishi, just like NDRF personnel, just like every other rescue personnel here. Even the people of Wayanad have come together and put their effort to rescue people and shift whoever has been injured. Humanity comes first at this point of time when the entire state require help.
Sagai, you're reporting from a very tough situation. I know it's raining. I really appreciate that you're right there on the spot. Also with us is Shibi Mol. She's also our Thiruvananthapuram correspondent. She is in Wayanad at the moment. Where are you at the moment, Shibi Mol, and what are you seeing around you?
Well, Rajdeep, I am at Churalmala, right opposite to where Saga is standing. What we're seeing right now here is there have been around 20 bodies recovered from the other side of the river. We're not allowed to go there. Only experts and only NDRF and trained rescue operators are being allowed to go to that side. So around 20 bodies have been recovered from that area. Now, that is being shifted to the hospital is what we're seeing. The big equipments and big cranes are not coming into use. It's the people and they're thinking that's coming to the rescue. We can see the bodies being shifted. Around 20 bodies needs to be shifted. They've recovered 20 bodies, and that's the final leg from this area is what the officials are telling us. There are, the rescue operations in Mundakai was the toughest one because it took almost 15 hours to begin the rescue operations there because there was no way the rescue operators could go there. Initially, they tried this possibility of airlifting, but that was not possible because of the adverse climatic conditions. So right now, they've started it. The army started the operations, rescue operations in Mundakai area a little while ago, and a lot of people are stuck there. In fact, in Churulmala, it's mostly people under the debris. People have lost their lives mostly here, but in that region, a lot of them are stuck in nearby locations, which include some of the famous resorts here. So around 300 people are stuck in one resort is what we're understanding. Now, all of them had gone to that place to be safe last night, because last night there was a warning that there could be heavy rain because the whole day it was raining yesterday in Wayanad. So people living closer to hills as well as water bodies were advised to move to safer locations. So many of them had shifted to camps yesterday. So many of them was able to be saved, but this was very unexpected. Such two landslides.
You're telling us.
Another following at 4:10 a.m. One of the biggest tragedies the state has ever witnessed after the Kerala floods. In the last many years, we've seen many floods,
We're also, of course, seeing that, as you said, at least 300 people trapped in a resort, rescue operations in those very, very difficult conditions. It's still raining heavily, and this is one of the worst ever tragedies, landslide tragedies the country has seen, Kerala has seen. Sagai Raj, Shibi Mol, you're there on the spot. I appreciate you bringing us all those details. This is indeed Kerala's worst ever natural disaster in decades. It's a state that has seen several landslides tragically in recent years. The death toll, as we've been saying, has crossed 100, but many are still feared trapped. Triggered by torrential rainfall, multiple landslides striking Kerala's Wayanad district in the early hours of the day. The situation remains grave, with rescue operations hitting a low roadblock amidst the inclement weather. Take a look.
Destruction, deluge and deaths. Stalking Kerala's Wayanad, with deadly landslides striking multiple locations. Bodies of victims were recovered from destroyed homes. Dozens were buried under piles of mud. Destroyed houses, swollen water bodies, and uprooted trees dotting the entire landscape. Picturesque hamlets turning into pictures of devastation.
ഇപ്പോൾ അപകടമുണ്ടായ സ്ഥലം ദുരന്തബാധിത പ്രദേശമായി പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ച സ്ഥലമല്ല. എന്നാൽ ഉരുൾപൊട്ടലിൻ്റെ പ്രഭവ കേന്ദ്രമായി അറിയപ്പെടുന്ന മുണ്ടക്കൈ എന്ന സ്ഥലം തീവ്ര ദുരന്ത സാധ്യതാ പ്രദേശത്താണ്. ഒഴുകിവന്ന മണ്ണും ഉരുളും പാറകളും ഉരുൾപൊട്ടൽ ദുരന്ത സാധ്യതയില്ലാത്ത ചൂരൽമല അങ്ങാടി എന്ന പ്രദേശത്താണ് വന്നടിഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളത്. അത് പ്രഭവ കേന്ദ്രത്തിന്റെ 6 കിലോമീറ്റർ അകലെയാണ്.
Multiple vehicles were either washed away or buried in dirt. Indian Army, Air Force, Navy and NDRF have joined state forces searching for survivors buried under debris. Heavy rains and huge boulders from the hills are hindering rescue work.
We have sent special teams to Wayanad, especially forensic team, forensic surgeons, forensic professors and others, and also orthopedic surgeons and pediatric surgeons. We have sent a team to Wayanad, and we are sending people also from, not only from Kozhikode, also from Trivandrum we are sending people.
Many children are among the dead, whose count may rise as many are still missing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Kerala Chief Minister, assuring central assistance. The Prime Minister also announced financial assistance for the survivors.
Honorable Chief Minister himself is coordinating rescue disaster management operations from his office. an IAS officer has been appointed as special officer. He will be camping in Wayanad, and CM has sent a team of 5 ministers to Wayanad. So they will be coordinating rescue operations in Wayanad.
Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has instructed officials to run rescue work at war footing.
നമ്മുടെ നാട് ഇതുവരെ കണ്ടതിൽ അതീവ ദാരുണമായ പ്രകൃതി ദുരന്തങ്ങളിലൊന്നാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ സംഭവിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. ദുരന്തം തകർത്തെറിഞ്ഞ പ്രദേശങ്ങളിൽ രക്ഷാപ്രവർത്തനം ആകാവുന്ന എല്ലാ രീതിയിലും തുടരുകയാണ്.
Kozhikode in Kerala is also facing severe rain havoc, leading to multiple landslides. Rescue teams are now racing against time to extricate survivors still buried under massive mounds of soil. With Shilpa Nair, Shibi Mol and Sagai Raj in Wayanad, Bureau Report, India Today.
Joining me now is MB Rajesh, Minister in the Pinarayi Vijayan government in Kerala, and I'm also joined by Anand Kochukudi. He is a senior journalist based in Kochi. I appreciate both of you joining us at the moment. To you, MB Rajesh, the death toll has crossed 100, and even more worrying is reports that at least another 100, 150 could be still trapped and have not been reached by the army. Can you give us what you're picking up, what the government is picking up, sir?
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking tragedy happened in Wayanad in the early hours of today. I think this is the biggest tragedy in the recent history of Kerala. The death toll is now 170, and we are afraid that it may go up. All possible efforts are being made by the government and various agencies, including police, NDRF, Fire Force, Indian Army, Air Force. All agencies are working together to save the lives of people. Rescue operations are going on a war footing. The government, a team of 5 ministers have already reached Wayanad. They are coordinating the rescue activities. Honorable Chief Minister is closely monitoring the rescue operations in Wayanad. He is present in the CM's office. He is closely monitoring the disaster management. The entire state machinery is working to coordinate the rescue operations.
Because, you know, Rajesh, this is not the first such instance in recent years. Flooding has taken place. Kerala has been badly hit in recent years by floods. These are very eco-sensitive areas, and landslides are becoming more and more frequent. Completely caught unawares, unexpected by this heavy rainfall and the tragedy, presumably, Rajesh, could there have been any efforts made to evacuate people as the rains were pelting down?
Warnings were given, and this particular area, this was not expected, but still people were given warning signals, and many of them were shifted. Now the local bodies have initiated relief camps. I think more than 250 people, more than 400 people have already been shifted to relief camps.
Anand Kochukudi, you know, the point I made just now with Rajesh, this is not the first such instance in recent times. We are seeing flooding, landslides becoming more and more frequent. Some are, of course, linking it to climate change. But are the people in these areas simply being caught unawares time after time, monsoon after monsoon, living in these eco-fragile mountainous areas?
Yeah, you know, it's a case of, Kerala being ecologically very sensitive in certain regions. The Wayanad district, for example, is one, the entire Wayanad district is an ecologically sensitive zone. But then quarrying and mining goes unabated. I'm sure the Honorable Minister, my friend Mr. Rajesh, would know, would be able to give some idea about that. But then I don't want to make it an issue today, because today the people are, we are still getting, the bodies are, we are still unearthing bodies, and the death toll is going up. As of now, it's 120, and it's expected to go up by quite a bit, because from the point of the landslide, the water has reached 90 kilometers downstream to Chaliar River, which is 90 kilometers away from the origin of the landslide. So that means this is going to be the biggest ever landslide that has hit Kerala, and this is going up. I mean, in the last 7 years, there have been, the last 7 years has seen a lot of landslides in Kerala, and 60% of the landslides in the whole of India was reported from Kerala in the last 7 years. But I'm not sure if our governments are waking up to the sensitive, that the fact that Kerala is ecologically too sensitive to be allowing quarrying and mining and giving too much thought to development activities.
Mr. Rajesh, the Prime Minister has said that he will give all help to the Kerala government. Is your government in touch with the centre? I know the army is fully involved in this operation, NDRF. So is this a joint state-centre operation that's going on at the moment, the coordination that is taking place? Is there perfect coordination, no complaints on either side?
Yes, of course, we are in touch with the union government, and this is an hour of crisis for us, and we need support and help from the union government. We had sought Army's help. Our Army team has reached the sites. They have constructed a temporary bridge, and that has helped us in rescuing people from that worstly affected areas. Air Force choppers have already reached Wayanad. They are carrying out rescue operations. So now there is a proper and effective coordination between the union and the centre.
Because the Congress party also, Anand, has a lot at stake here. Remember, Rahul Gandhi was the MP from Wayanad. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is expected to contest from there. In that sense, Wayanad has been on the national map. But give our sense to our viewers outside Wayanad, Anand, about the area itself that makes it so fragile and prone to landslides.
See, Wayanad is actually located at the tri-junction of the three states, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, and it's it's almost cut off from the rest of Kerala because there's only one Ghat road leading up to Wayanad from Kozhikode. There's no parallel road to even reach the district of Wayanad. So Wayanad is almost like it's almost cut off from Kerala to that extent. So it's always been like that, but there's been a lot of increase in the number of people living there. There's been man-animal conflicts, and there's been a lot of quarrying and mining, which is a big issue for a lot of people there, because they see that this is clearly linked to the landslides, and rainfall happens, and there's climate change. Of course, we can't.
And these are mainly tribal communities that live in and around the mountainside.
Of course, there are tribal people, but these people have been outmanned, or there's been a lot of migration from the rest of Kerala to Wayanad. A lot of people from Kottayam, for instance, for Kottayam district, they have now settled down. So there are more settlers than tribal people in Wayanad these days, and I would say that there are more people from Kottayam in Wayanad than people of Wayanad themselves.
MB Rajesh, what is the biggest challenge that your government at the moment is facing there in these rescue operations? Presumably there's another, we are told, a red alert that has been sounded for even more rain in the area, which makes the rescue even more difficult.
The biggest challenge is the terrain of Wayanad. It's a very difficult terrain, and it is extremely difficult for rescue workers to reach the place, and even the Army and NDRF are facing this challenge there in Wayanad. And apart from this, the bad weather and continuing rains are also a big challenge in rescue operations. As you said, red alert is being issued to 6 districts in the northern Kerala, including Wayanad. So these are the challenges we are facing in rescue operations. But despite these challenges, rescue operations are being carried out in an effective manner. All the agencies are working together there, including Army, Air Force, State Police, and NDRF and various other agencies.
This is also, Anand, of course, the tip of the Western Ghats. You mentioned that this is the tri-junction of Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. It's also the end, in a way, of the Western Ghats itself, extremely eco-sensitive area. How is it? How are people in and around Kerala seeing what's happening at the moment as the death toll mounts? Presumably, there are people, as you said, living in Wayanad who've settled from different parts of Kerala. So this is not just a tragedy of Wayanad, it's a tragedy across Kerala where families must be affected from different districts.
It's Rajdeep, it's a very sad state because a few months ago, there were a lot of man-animal conflict issues that were being reported. There were people getting trampled by under elephants and people being, devoured by tigers. And it's a sad state for the people of Wayanad because it's either, they're caught between the devil and the sea, because, they are getting, their livelihoods are affected. Their survival is, under question. And now this landslide, it completely turns their life around, and their savings, everything is lost, and I cannot, I can't imagine the state they're going through, and I cannot, express my, I can't empathize with them more than, I don't know how to explain and how to express my feelings, but it's such a sad state of, affairs for the people of Wayanad. I would say that, more than Priyanka Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi, of course, it would put the constituency on the national map, but I would suggest that somebody hailing from Wayanad, an MP from Wayanad itself representing Wayanad would be the ideal scenario, because in many instances the MP is totally missing, and there are only just 3 assembly constituencies in the district of Wayanad. So whether or not Priyanka Gandhi contests there, I think it's almost decided. But then it would help people more if the MP was more available to them.
Well, at the moment, our thoughts, prayers are with the people of Wayanad, with the people of Kerala. MB Rajesh, we wish your government the very best in all the efforts that they will make over the next few days. I know it's not easy, and our thoughts with all the people who are suffering at the moment there in Kerala. This is a tragedy of great proportion, and one where your heart breaks to watch some of the visuals that have been coming through all through this day there in Wayanad. MB Rajesh, Anand Kochukudi, appreciate both of you joining me here on the show tonight.
Thank you, Rajdeep.
Thank you, Rajdeep.
Our thoughts and prayers, as I said, there with the people of Wayanad and Kerala. Let's turn from there back to Parliament, where Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today replied to the opposition on the budget in the Lok Sabha, calling the opposition's biased budget charge false. The Finance Minister says no special favours were granted to any state. She also slammed Rahul Gandhi on the minimum support price legal guarantee, claiming it was the UPA which rejected MSP and sidelined the MS Swaminathan report. Union Minister Piyush Goyal also replied to Rahul Gandhi's charge that this was an anti-middle class budget in Parliament. And there was also a clash on the caste census between Rahul Gandhi and Anurag Thakur. Let's listen in.
2004-05 budget did not take the name of 17 states. I like to ask the UPA government members at that time, did money not go to those 17 states? Did they stop it? Then if they stopped it, they have every business to ask this question. I presume they didn't stop money going to those 17 states because they didn't name it. So when it is one thing for them, it's all right. When the same thing happens somewhere else, no, it's not all right, you've deceived. 17 states were not named in 2004-05. 18 states were not named in 2005-06. 13 states were not named in 2006-07. 16 states were not named in 2007-8. Money didn't go to them. 2008-9, 13 states were not named. 2009-10, 26 states were not named. 26, which means only 2. Sir, oh yes, sir, if we are being blamed that only 2 states were named and the other states are not getting anything, 2009-10 budget had only 2 states, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, and no other state. What does that mean then? It's all right when you do it. You didn't give money to those states which you didn't name. So,
अब इस बजट में आपने उसी मिडिल क्लास के एक छुरा पीठ में मारा, दूसरा छुरा छाती में, एक इधर मारा और एक इधर मारा। इंडेक्सेशन जो आपने कैंसिल की वो पीठ में छुरा था, और जो कैपिटल गेन्स टैक्स आपने बढ़ाया वो छाती में छुरा था। आपने, दुख की बात है, मगर इसमें एक इंडिया गठबंधन के लिए एक हिडन बेनिफिट है। मिडिल क्लास अब आपको छोड़ने जा रही है और इस साइड आ रही है।
And in 10 years of the UPA government, they brought the nation down to a growth rate of about 4.4% that was inherited by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. Inflation at spiraling highs for the last few years of the UPA government.
So let's raise the big questions. Is the 2024 budget anti-middle class as Rahul Gandhi claimed? Should Rahul Gandhi have brought a caste angle into the budget debate as he did yesterday? Has Nirmala Sitharaman today addressed all the concerns raised by Rahul Gandhi and the opposition? Is the budget now a political battleground? Just some of the questions we'll raise. Joining me now are Sanju Verma, the BJP's national spokesperson, and Salman Soos, the Congress spokesperson, for my face-off tonight. Let me turn to you, Sanju Verma, first. Rahul Gandhi says the budget was anti-middle class. He cited the fact of the hike in long-term capital gains tax. He cited the indexation being removed, short-term capital gains tax being increased. He says that the middle class ke peeth mein chura bhoka hai, to use his exact words. Your response, do you concede that some of these issues are troubling even BJP supporters among the middle class?
Rajdeep, I always endorse my facts with data and the strength of logic, and I will do exactly that today. I will not get swayed by the popular narrative that, oh, the budget is anti-middle class. It is not. If anything, in the last 10 years, the Narendra Modi government has done more for the middle class than any Congress regime did in the last 6 or 7 decades of post-independent India, and I will say why. Point number 1, the basic tax exemption limit was just 2 lakh per annum under the Congress. That stands raised to 3 lakh per annum, which means till 3 lakh per annum you pay 0 income tax. Earlier, if I was a person earning 7 lakh per annum, I had to pay, under the Congress regime in 2013-14, I had to pay 20% tax. Matlab, if I was earning 7 lakh per annum, I had to shell out 1,40,000 per annum as income tax alone. Today, if I'm earning 7 lakhs per annum, I need to shell out only 35,000 rupees as income tax because the tax rate stands at a lowly 5%. Most people say that the median income of the middle class is around 10 lakhs per annum. So very quickly, if you were earning 10 lakhs per annum under the Sonia Gandhi / Manmohan Singh regime in 2012-13, you had to shell out 30% tax annually, which means on an income of 10 lakh per annum, you had to shell out 3 lakh per annum as tax. And guess what, Rajdeep? Today, if I'm earning an annual income of 10 lakh per annum, I have to shell out only 1 lakh as tax because the tax on 30% now reduced is at about 10% when it comes to the 10 lakh income tax bracket. तो पहले आप 30% टैक्स देते थे 10 लाख सालाना इनकम पर, आज आप सालाना 10 लाख इनकम पर सिर्फ 10% टैक्स देते हैं. But the most important point is this. Let's be very clear. Do you know a fact Who imposed the dividend distribution tax? It was the Congress. Who imposed the commodity transaction tax? It was the Congress. Who imposed retrospective taxation? It was the Congress. Who imposed angel tax? It was the Congress. Who imposed cash withdrawal tax? It was the Congress. And Rajdeep, who imposed the nefarious FBT, fringe benefit tax? It was the Congress. And your audience will be very happy to know that all these taxes impact some or the other tax slab within the middle class. Today,
Okay, I've given you 2 minutes of uninterrupted time, ma'am. I've given you 2 minutes uninterrupted time. Your time is up. No, your time is up. Salman Soz, respond. Because when the Congress points out that the long-term capital gains tax has been increased, here you've got Sanju Verma pointing out several taxes, including angel tax, which was withdrawn finally by the government, was brought in by the Congress party. So when the Congress says the budget is anti-middle class, you've got to be more specific.
Well, first, Rajdeep, it's not just the opposition that is saying that this budget hurts the middle class. It is the government's own supporters. In fact, the government's own supporters, the ecosystem that the BJP created and was used to mercilessly troll the Congress party and opposition members and independent journalists, anybody who was not supporting the Modi government. That very ecosystem is now actually using the same kinds of language, very bad language, I must say, very bad language, against the Prime Minister, against the Finance Minister. So clearly they have some damage control to do. But Rajdeep,
no, be specific. Be specific. Tell me specifically what makes it anti-middle class.
Let me just get to that. Rajdeep, in New India, in Modi ji's New India, now personal income taxes are the highest category of taxes. The next one is GST, and the following one, the next one after that, is corporate taxes. Do you know, Rajdeep, that since 2019, corporate taxes have grown by 24%, while individual income taxes have grown by 76%. And do you know, Rajdeep, that during the same time, corporate profits have quadrupled, not doubled, not tripled, but quadrupled. That means corporations are banking their profits, not investing, not creating jobs, and all these big organizations are basically making a lot of money and dividing up through dividends, etc. Now, Rajdeep, the question is that the only thing? No, it's not. Then if you look at indirect taxation, let's look at fuel taxes, Rajdeep. Fuel taxes between 2014 to 15 to 2020.
Be patient, madam.
277% increase in fuel tax revenues, 277%. Now, Rajdeep, in this budget, what does the finance minister do? What happens to indexation benefits? Rajdeep, there are better ways to, if they wanted to do away with this, there was a great suggestion, by the way, by Andy Mukherjee, who is a columnist in Bloomberg, who said, if you had to do away with indexation benefits, which hurts a lot of people who own property, you could have actually said, we'll set the time as, say, maybe 2018, 19, more recent years. Then you would see that those people who had bought property a long time back, with the idea that they might get indexation benefits, they would not be hurting right now. That is why people are upset. And that, of course, the long-term capital gains.
I gave you equal time, Mr. Soz. I gave you equal time. I also turn to Prasenjit Bose at this moment. Prasenjit Bose is a left economist. Prasenjit Bose, you've been a critic of this government. But interestingly, this time the government is being accused of being anti-middle class. Not anti-poor, but anti-middle class. Your response?
I think this government is both anti-poor and anti-middle class. The only class that seems to be benefiting from this government is the very top 0.001% of Indian society, which academics associated with the inequality lab, World Inequality Lab, has very clearly pointed out. I think that there are
give me an example why you say that. Give me an example when you say something as stated. Give me an example why you say only the 0.001 have been benefited and no one else. Be specific.
Yes, because I think some of it has already been quite succinctly put by the Congress spokesperson. You have a government. The BJP spokesperson was talking about all kinds of taxes, which it seems apparently Congress had done. but she failed to mention that the biggest corporate tax cut came under this government before the COVID, because of which today corporate taxes have come down to around just contributing 26% to the gross tax revenue, whereas personal income taxes have almost touched 30%.
But Prasadji, that was 2019. I am asking you, what is it in the 2024 budget that according to you makes it anti-middle class and poor?
It continues with the same strategy by levying the kind of taxes, by removing the indexation benefit. Who will suffer because of that? The people, middle class people who want to sell their old houses. They will suffer.
This is unfair.
But no, hang on, madam. Fair, unfair. You hear the argument first.
No, put her voice down. Let him finish.
No, anyway,
I'll come to you, ma'am.
Please don't interrupt me.
Please go ahead.
Don't interrupt me. I also heard you. So the point is that the removal of indexation benefit and the kind of concessions which the finance minister claimed in terms of the middle class, she has taken away with one hand what she has given in terms of those standard reduction in salaried people. If you look at the budget income tax projections, they are once again in this budget for the forthcoming year, this financial year, the income taxes are going to grow. The government itself is projecting its growth to be much higher than corporate.
Okay, so you're saying the tax raises is what makes you believe that this is anti-middle class, especially the removal of indexation.
There are two more issues, Rajdeep.
Very quickly.
Wait, inflation hurts everybody.
Yes.
This budget mentions the word inflation only once. That too in the context of global scenario.
What's your second point?
What food inflation is today, where fuel prices are today. This hurts the middle class. This certainly hurts the middle class. However you define the middle class, you can define the middle class in terms of income, in terms of education level, in terms of
Prasadji Bose, I must allow Sanju Verma to respond because both of you have attacked her. Sanju Verma, now respond, because the fact is indexation in particular is an issue which, whether you like it or not, is troubling many people within the middle class. That the property investments they made over the last 23 years could well cost them. Is there any, don't you think it is useful to even consider a rollback or some kind of a dilution or review?
You know, Rajdeep, first and foremost, very humbly, I want to say this. It's a debate. Where there are two people against the BJP, I don't care if you get 20 persons against Sanju Verma. I can take each one of them on the back of my logic. But please don't say this, put her fader down, shut her down. I mean, you are a senior seasoned journalist. I expect you to do better.
I expect
please
people to...
so much of
No,
intolerance.
if they intervene with you, I will shut their fader down
so
also.
Much of intolerance.
Madam,
please don't be so intolerant.
I am not intolerant at all.
Do not be
please
intolerant.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Do not be intolerant. I do not want to hear this very embarrassing statement. Put her fader down. Put her speaker down. ये क्या तरीका है?
नहीं, मेरे प्रोग्राम में कोई क्रॉस टॉक पे होगा. अगर वो भी करे, उनको भी मैं करूंगा वो. Please go ahead. I have limited time. You are wasting your own time, ma'am. Please go ahead.
I'm wasting time now. Don't heckle me.
Please go ahead.
You always get a lopsided panel. I don't care whether you get 30 people or 40
that's it.
people against
You see
Sanju Verma.
Madam,
now
please.
let me speak.
Yeah.
Let me speak now.
Please go ahead.
What has the Modi government done for the middle class? Now I don't want interruptions because you don't like interruptions. I don't like them either. When there are more than 40 crore loans that have been processed under Mudra Yojana, with 76% of those loans being given to Dalits and tribals and OBC women, किसका फायदा है? Middle class का. When more than 53 crore Jan-Dhan bank accounts are open, with 82% of those belonging to poor women, किसका फायदा है? Lower middle class का. More than 142,000 startups, with 45% of those startups having at least one woman director on their board. किसका फायदा है? Middle class का, खासकर महिलाओं का. National Livelihood Mission, Atal Mission, Sukanya Samriddhi Mission, Pradhan Mantri Van Vikas Yojana. In all of these programs, more than 78% of the beneficiaries are women. किसका फायदा हुआ? Middle class women का. Now let me say one very important thing. Long-term capital gains के ऊपर 10% से 12.5% हाइक हुआ. लोगों ने हाहाकार मचा दिया. But the same people do not want to give credit to Narendra Modi for the fact that पहले आप 2 लाख per annum एनम पर भी टैक्स पे करते थे, अभी 3 लाख पर भी जीरो टैक्स है। पहले 7 लाख पर एनम पर आप 20% टैक्स पे करते थे, आज आप 5% पे करते हैं। पहले आप 10 लाख पर एनम इनकम पर 30% टैक्स पे करते थे, आज आप सिर्फ 10%।
Okay, your 2 minutes are up. Your 2 minutes are up, ma'am. Exact time.
Can I make my final argument?
Yeah, please do.
Please. You are 2 people against me. I need at least 45 seconds more.
Yes, go ahead.
There is always a concept in economics, Rajdeep, which is the concept of hidden taxation. They say nothing breaks the back of the middle class more than high lending rates. And I have culled out some data from the RBI archives. This is not Sanju Verma's data off her hat. In 2012-13, the average lending rate for a home loan, for a car loan, for a credit card loan, for a vehicle loan was 15.5%. Matlab, yadi Rajdeep Sardesai takes a loan of 10 lakh rupees in 2013, he would have had to shell out 1,55,000 rupees as salana interest. Today, the interest on personal loan, vehicle loan, etc. is down to a measly 8.5%, which means today if Rajdeep Sardesai buys a car or buys a home for say 10 lakh rupees, he has to shell out yearly interest of only 85,000 rupees.
Okay. You made the point. Okay, you made the point. Again, I allowed you uninterrupted. No one interrupted you. Please, no, please put that down. Ma'am, I've given you equal time. Salman Soos, your response to that. You see, Rahul Gandhi says budget is anti-OBC, budget is anti-Dalit, budget is anti-Adivasi. These are all generic statements to make. You have to give specifics. Sanju Verma, at least today, is giving specifics when she says that look at the various other benefits she claims the Modi government has given through various schemes that she says eventually, like the Mudra Yojana, for example, that benefit maybe young middle class entrepreneurs.
Rajdeep, first of all, I think we should remember, and I remember it very clearly, that when I used to defend the UPA's policy, I would routinely be in TV debates where there would be 4 people against me, and including the anchor of most television channels. So she should not be crying on national television today, talking about 2 people against 1. The second thing I want to remind you, Rajdeep, and you remember this, and I remember this, and I know most people who voted for the Achhe Din Sarkar was Mr. Arun Jaitley in 2013 and 14, before the elections, talking about how the income tax slab was needed to be increased to 5 lakh rupees, etc. And now, after all these years, after Arun Jaitley ji has passed away, they raised it to 3 lakh rupees, and they're saying, oh, humne kitna tufan kar diya Hindustan ke logon ke liye. They should be ashamed. They should be ashamed for taking credit for something which is far less than what Arun Jaitley promised in 2014. One more thing, Rajdeep. What about, they talk about all the benefits. What about 16 lakh crores of loans written off? Who did they go to? Did they go to those write-offs? Were they for the middle class? Were they for the poor people of this country? They were not. Rajiv, so all of this, by the way, inflation that Prasanji talked about, inflation, especially food price inflation, in June, just last June, the reading was 9% average. Dal, pulses, 16%. And vegetables, 30%. Last year, food price inflation on average was about 7 to 8%. Food prices affect the middle class and the poor disproportionately.
Yes, I take your point, but as a fact check, if I look at inflation numbers in your last term, they were uniformly higher than they were during. So let's not. You see the point. No, madam, please allow me to anchor.
No, Rajdeep, that is wrong. Let me tell you why it is wrong. Because then you have to provide context. The context is that global crude prices were extremely high during Manmohan Singh Ji's time.
Fair point.
That's
also a fair point.
That is huge inflation.
That's also a fair point that global fuel prices were higher, and therefore that had an inflationary spike. Prasanjit goes to conclude. For Prasenjit Bose to conclude, do you believe that this entire budget, this entire debate that the budget is anti-middle class doesn't take into account the fact that the middle class has also over the years actually got a lot of benefits? It's actually the people at the bottom of the pyramid who've suffered the most in the last 5-7 years.
Well, it will depend upon how you are defining the middle class, Rajdeep. I think that let us not forget that these BJP spokespersons came in program after program, even in your channel, and claimed that, tax returns have grown to 8 crore and so on. The fact remains that only slightly over 2 crore people are paying income tax in India. That is the latest figure. Higher income tax returns does not lead to higher income tax. So that is the country that we live in. Only 2 crore out of 140 crore people are paying income tax, which is above that threshold which the BJP spokesperson was mentioning. I think the fact remains that it is not only anti-middle class. I think that is overblown. And I think that there's some good measures. I am not against the raising of the short-term capital gains tax. But the basic problem, you see, the BJP spokesperson could not refute the basic argument which both the Congress spokesperson and I had made. That why is it the case that the income taxpayers are paying more, which is the middle class, as I think, that is what we are discussing. Whereas the corporates are paying less. They are not refuting that argument. They are saying we have given mudra loans, this, that, whatever. You see, another fact I want to bring to your notice.
I've got 30 seconds.
That
30
they are
seconds.
only giving loans and loans and loans. What is happening is that the middle class, their incomes, their employment is not increasing, their income is not increasing, their indebtedness is increasing. So you are making the middle class more and more indebted.
Okay. In the interest of fairness, there will be no. Madam, unfortunately, today has been a day when we've had to focus extensively on Wayanad. There's been a tragedy. More than 100 people have died. That took a lot of the time at the top of the show, so we had limit. No, ma'am, I'm sorry. We'll carry forward. We'll have you again on the show. You're not going anywhere, nor am I. Sanju Verma, Salman Soos, Prasenjit Bose on that debate on the entire issue of the urban middle class and benefits. We must leave it there. I wish we could have also addressed the issue of caste and the budget, which Rahul Gandhi raised. We'll do that on another day. Let's turn to tonight's Good News Today story, and it is a really good news today story. It comes from Paris, where India's Manu Bhaker has carved a slice of history. The 22-year-old shooter from Haryana has become not just the first Indian woman to win 2 medals at a single Olympics, but the first Indian sports person to win 2 medals at a single Olympics in over a century. The last one was Norman Pritchard way back in 1900, but that was pre-independence India. Manu Bhaker is in a league of her own, and I want to leave you tonight with the one and only shooting star that has lit up India's Olympics. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar. Here's wishing Manu Bhaker all the very best as she guns for a 3rd medal in the 25 meters air pistol. Take a look.
A 2nd medal in the Paris Olympics and a feat unheard of in Indian sporting history. At just 22, Manu Bhaker has become the first Indian to win 2 medals in the same edition of the Olympics in the post-independence era.
Double Olympic medalist sounds good?
Definitely sounds better than one, but legend is too big of a word for me. I would like to continue this for probably as many Olympics as possible, although let's see how what future has for me in future.
After bagging a bronze in the women's singles event, Manu and Sarabjot defeated their Korean opponents 16-10 to earn the country its 2nd medal.
मनु के साथ 50-50 मतलब वो रहा था कंपटीशन, बस हमारी यही बात हुई थी कि दोनों ने अपना बेस्ट देना है.
A child prodigy, Manu was into multiple sports like tennis, skating and boxing, but by the time she turned 14, she discovered her love for shooting and there was no turning back from that point. Her sporting journey has revolved around her father, who's a chief engineer in the Merchant Navy. An investment of nearly 1.5 lakh rupees that he had made back in the day to buy shooting equipment for Manu has now made his daughter a national treasure.
मेडल होता है, बहुत खुशी है, चुकना नहीं होता है। ये मेडल होता है, बहुत खुशी होती है। ओलंपिक में पहुंचना ही हर बच्चे का सपना होता है, वो बहुत बड़ी बात है कि वो ओलंपिक में पहुंचे, पोडियम फिनिश किया, बहुत बड़ी बात है।
She already has 2 medals to her name and she isn't done yet. Manu is yet to participate in the women's 25-meter pistol event, and a 3rd Olympic medal is bound to put her in a league of her own as she chases the unprecedented. Sports Bureau, India Today.